Idgaf. For real. I'm live. If it didn't record, I said IDGAF. Exclamation. For real. Yeah. Did y'all see that last upload? Let me tell y'all something. Y'all notice how it get quiet when I'm live? I do. Keep all that hisikianas up out of here. Listen. That pool that I uploaded, right, is not a pool from last week. It's from the week before. Maybe two or 3 weeks before. So basically everything that I put out this week, everything I uploaded came after I took that pic. I have to do it this way even though IDGAF exclamation, because I ain't got no choice. It's my job. I really don't, y'all. The reason why it's important is throughout this 4-year span, it'll be 4 years. Y'all. That's how long it took. My part. There was a whole lot of talk. A whole lot of talk, a whole lot of threats, a whole lot of. And I'm simply saying, they don't know me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I am willing to be on the news type ish, you know? Like, is it Big G, please? You know what I'm saying? I'm poor anyway. You know what I'm saying? F it. Y'all don't realize the type of ascension I went through will have you like IDGAF. And then to have onlookers, right? With their personal opinions on what they feel is facts while not knowing no facts at all. Makes it worse. It's like you'll sit there and you'll believe satire for it to be truth, and I'm sitting here telling you truth, whether or not if it's my truth. It was the great Delbert Blair that talked about the black one, okay? That talked about truth and your own understanding in regards to truth. There is no truth until you come up with your own truth, basically. So that's my truth. It may not be true for you. Some try to make it true for them, but it's not. My life is my life. So, when I opened up YT, there's things, it kind of shapes the energy that I'm gonna go into, because this platform is my job. So it's not as simple as, don't go to YT. This is my job. That's like saying don't go to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to work. It's just now I'm in a more relaxed mode. These other years it's just hustle, bustle, hustle, bustle, hustle, bustle. Put out content. But I'm someone that likes to advance. I like to see progress in my work. I talked about this before. So it takes a little bit more time, especially since I'm doing all of this work, spiritual work. I say that it's for free, but my team says it's not for free. It's spiritual currency. I don't know nothing about spiritual currency yet. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all gonna have to get at me about spiritual currency in the next episode. Because right now, it's about my pockets. In my opinion, to me, this content is not unusual. I done ran into unusual content. Some of y'all haven't even scratched the surface of unusual content. This was over 15 years ago. Content that make you say, what? What is this? Where is this? You know, so this is not unusual, me giving my opinion, my perspective, my truth about what I'm seeing and what I'm living. There should be versatility when it comes down to content. When you have intellectual individuals, you want a mixture. Everything is not philosophical, and everything is not love, and everything is not HATE either. But it's like so much, right? You know, what I notice is because I don't follow the trenders, even though they are celebrities, I don't follow them. I'm the type of come when you off the scene. You all the way off the scene. You old man. You got 16 cheering. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not, you know, I talk about Blueface because I'm supposed to. That's my job. There's certain ones that I talk about that I'm going to talk about because that's my job. If the big G say, talk about this, the big G will put something on your mind or take something off your mind right in the midst of a live. I done seen it happen. There's been many a celebrity sitting there gassing, all gas, no brakes. And then all of a sudden, he do that little and I say, there you go, right there. Look, you can't even remember what you finna say. He do it to me all the time. Y'all just can't tell because I'm a pro at it. Listen. I thought, what if you just stopped caring? You know, what if everybody just stopped caring and just thought about their own household, their money? Like, you know, the whole celebrity gossip stuff. Like this, you know, when I flipped on, it'll make you have opinions about certain people. Whether or not if they're good or bad, you know, you'll start to get a liking to somebody because of what's presented. Now when it's them doing it, it's different because you know, you can say, I've been that age before. I've been through that. You know, you can do all that type of stuff. You give your opinion and, you know, and that's that. But when it's satire, you know, sassafras, whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, whoop said sassafras. You know, he said, she say. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, and then what makes it worse is the celebrities, you know, sometimes I don't really know if they comment on the satire or not, right? I don't know because I don't follow them. But I sit back and I say, I formulate opinions on stuff that I see. Like the stuff with Diddy. There is no secret. Like to me, it's like all y'all do it. All y'all in the mainstream do it. So it's like you know, you can't sensationalize someone else's illicit affair and you do it too. You wouldn't have been at the top if you didn't do it. Like to me, and it's like to me, it's just, you know, one crab pulling another crab down, and then when it's your turn, everybody gonna be sitting there saying, you know, whoop 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 whoop. You know, if y'all all do it, then you know it's like to me it's like, you know, there was a saying that my grandmother used to say. I'm the only fly in the buttermilk. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all know because she from the South. You know, it be like that in the mainstream industry. Like everybody that make it in the industry and they affiliated and they in a circle, they all crabs. They all crabs, right? They act like they like each other. You know what I'm saying? They record each other. They do all kind of stuff. So later on, they could bring them down. And when it's up, and let me say this, because I know it happened in other nationalities too. But when there's a black man doing it to another black man, that's like disgusting to me. You know what I'm saying? Like onlookers, people coming up, they consider celebrities royalty, even though they not. They consider celebrities royalty, so they look at celebrities like they are royal, and they're not. They reach a certain status, they floss, they give out some turkey. Remember I told you about the turkeys? I told you they give out some turkeys, start some little basketball camps. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's gonna make them some more money later on, and then everybody they call come in and snatch it. It's like, didn't you watch that happen the last time with Sassafras? Like, why do you think you gonna make it out safe? You know what I'm saying? You know? Now, why you think you gonna be the one that make it out without a scratch? When we didn't watch this happen countless times. You know what I'm saying? So it's like why you know, and the thing about it, if it's a vendetta, y'all know I'm talking about. Y'all know I got that vendetta card, right? Look, this is the perfect example. If it's a vendetta card, then why I gotta be public? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all be buying each other's rights and and doing all this old other type of stuff, but just yesterday, a week ago, y'all was homies. That was your bro. You know what I'm saying? You do anything for him. You better not do nothing to my bruh type. You know what I'm saying? Like, so fast, all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen you in like 60 gazillion pictures with the dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got jokes. Let me tell y'all something. When I say it, it's a problem. I know the difference between mainstream and independent. Most don't. They see all celebrities in the same genre. They'll say, if he's not an A-lister because he's not whoop, 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 don't you know they affiliated? Ain't nobody gonna get in. You not gonna get in. They don't care how good you is on your knees, please. You know what I'm saying? They don't care how good you is. If you're not affiliated, you're not getting in. That's why you see certain individuals promoted. It's kind of like, let me tell you something. I purchased a book called The Apocrypha, right? Because in this phase, I was like, I want all the Holy Scripture because I want to dissect it and see what they talking about, right? Let me tell you something. This is the thing about purchasing things online, but some stuff you can't get unless you go online, right? My name, as soon as they seen that name, they said, we're going to make this illegible. Do you know one of my sons went and got the same book and he could read it because of his name? The same thing with the industry. They made it the print so light. I started to send it back, but I just threw it away. You know what I'm saying? I just threw it away. I wanted to see what was in it. Probably the same, like the Book of Moses. That's what it's one of those type of scriptures. Yeah. See, now y'all understand. I'm not no Crawley reader. I get holy scriptures. I'm not sitting there talking about Nostradamus and all the King Davids and James and all of that. I don't buy that crap. I want to know what they talking about in the holy scripture because of the name. You're not finna find all that stuff in my storage, in my apartment home project. No. Y'all feel like because I'm in the dark stuff that I got a whole bunch of crawly. Do you know how many? Do you know how many individuals is up under Crawley? You know what happened to Crawley? Y'all don't even know. Y'all sitting up there practicing that stuff that he took from somebody else that y'all don't know nothing about. Why y'all be thinking that these dudes, the ones that make it to the mainstream is the ones that produce all of this great stuff? Come on, y'all need to cut it out. It's somebody neck they done stepped on to get there. I'm for sure about it. And the thing about it is, what would be proof for a lot of y'all? It is if I had 6,000 people in my chat. If I had 6,000 people in my chat, you would say that either it's popular. But because you only see one, you believe that nobody sees me. When my whole career is about parallels and alternates. Everything. I'm just a living example. The thing about it is they don't want to believe what the truth is. They rather believe in stuff like Crawley. Y'all know what he would do? Y'all don't know the type of torment Crawley would do. So females specifically. So y'all sitting up there talking about the great master and all of this all type of stuff. Y'all need to cut it out. One of them wanted to know what happens. Where are the ones? They don't know what to call them because they used to call them demons. That go against the big G. They want to know where they at. They ain't. That's where they at. They ain't. When you go against the big G, you ain't. That's why you don't hear about them. I told you all that sensationalizing that they did with the elect ones was because of who they were. It wasn't them that wasn't present in distortion. They didn't want to be in distortion. If they would have known that all of that was happening, they would have been there. See, the thing about it is, I can say, Baphomet, can you talk to me? If he is upset, he's not going to say nothing. If I say, Ball, talk to me. If he upset, he not going to say nothing, Juicy Bezel. They come through like that. When they want to, these is men. Men being angels somewhere. Why y'all, I'm not a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to lie. I can sit here and tell you, I can say, look, this is a fictional story, and this is what I came up with, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. I'll tell you the truth. What what I'm gonna lie for? I ain't trying to impress you. That's what y'all don't understand. Like, I am from Hunters Point, Bayview, San Francisco. I am not from Hollywood. I be having to stress that to y'all because y'all feel like somebody gotta manipulate you or something when you ain't putting no money in my pocket. The thing about it, because the HELL razors is here. It's a whole bunch. Let me tell you something. I didn't heard it's over, it's ended, it's done for at least 2.5 years. It's over, Ether. It's done, Ether. It's over. It's done. To where I'm just like, you know what? When I hear it, I'll be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I was saying stuff like it ain't never done. Because you be thinking you done did all of this, and then sassafras is sitting back somewhere, enjoying the fruits of their non-labor. I said they all got put in a alternate. That's what I said. And if you there with them, it is because you didn't listen. Now, the stuff that I was watching 15 years ago, I now have went through, where they talked about alternate and parallels and all of this stuff. It is indeed real. I know how a fraction of it works, maybe 10% of how it works, because that's how the big G is. If you feel like you'll never be able to master a verse or a plane, because he will move you somewhere where everything will be backwards. You'll be sitting there talking about, why is this like this, and yesterday it was just like this. Look, I got so many examples. If y'all were really paying attention, people that get up and they got 9 to 5s, whether if they punching the clock or not, people that is consistently up, they know it's little things. It's little things that will make you say, she on to something. She right. Because so many don't believe that he will take you and move you while your eyes is blinking. You don't think that is possible. We're talking about the big G. With him, anything is possible. Let me tell you something. I done seen all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. When I asked my universe mother to go where she is from, she said, you can't go there. And I said, why? And she said, because it is no more. That's what he do. He'll create something that look just like what you in right now. You walk down the street and you there. You go back, you in a whole different, go back to the house, go back to the car, you in a whole different verse. I don't know why y'all believe like that. He is the greatest magician. Where do you think this stuff, concepts like time warps come from? Voids, portals. To me, it seems like when I talk about it, y'all want to act like, some of y'all want to act like it's non-existent. But the concept is right there. I believe that is my understanding of what is taking place that has people perplexed. It is just that simple. You can blink your eye and be somewhere else. It's so many that, the ones that have kinetic abilities are different from psychics. They're different from the ones that have benefit off of someone doing Mancy ages ago. Okay? Because that is something that the big G allowed to happen with the group kinetic ability. And it is because he wanted all of them bound together. They sit back. When I said, you talking in my plane, you can't, this is my plane because this is what he assigned to me, type ish. You can't say ether and think something gonna go silent. I'm not gonna hear. That's backwards. Like, you don't want me to hear something, but you calling my name. How that sound? It don't make sense because they wear it backwards. If I say, you ought not tie your shoe, they'll say, tie your shoe. I am not lying. They backwards. I gotta say, I gotta say what I don't want them to do for them to do the right thing. Y'all get what I'm saying? Because listen, which brings me to one of the topics. Before I move on, y'all. Trick Daddy. He said, Miss Kemp, if you're nasty. You know what I'm saying? He said, y'all is oopy and backwards. If you gonna pay somebody to work for them, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the way he said it, because y'all got to understand, when she is doing her set, right? It comes so natural that you don't know that she's promoting. So he say you open. If if you gonna pay me to come, you know, it, it, say I'm Miss Kemp if you're nasty. Say I'm Miss Kemp if you're nasty, right? She say, sassafras, give me $1,000 and you can come do my hair. Right? That's how she talk, right? Onlookers that have been watching her, regardless if they're true supporters, know that she is a promoter. She promotes things. But somebody that just happened to, like, but I mean, the concept is you gonna pay you gonna pay me to do my hair. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like with me, I was sitting there watching. I was sitting there watching him, right? And I said, he don't know. And I said, if somebody offer him 3,500, he'll be shocked if somebody come give him 3,500 and say, I'm finna clean your house, type ish. That's the world I live in, Mr. Trick Daddy. They bold like that. Then they'll come in there and sprinkle a little lemongrass in the corner, put some gourmet black salt, right? and then they'll say, we can channel Trick Daddy in the house because we didn't went in there and put all kind of leaves and herbs in the corner of his home, type ish. That's the world I live in. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody present 3,500 to you, first of all, you need to get a marker and check it and see if it's real, because that's where I'm from. I'm from Frisco, so you gotta make sure it's real, and then you need to book with me at workwith@gmail.com, because you get the blinky all the time. Hey, I was sitting there watching. I said the big G doing it to him right now. Right now, he sat back and he was like, okay, 20s and 30s, 40s. Wait a minute. Yeah, I went down on the price. Oh, we reconnected. Man, see, now I gotta, wait a minute, I gotta catch the move because we reconnected. Hey, you, like the video. Like the video. That's what I'm talking about. You know, he want to know why I don't do this on the gram, because the gram don't pay me. That's why. You want me to go live on the gram? CA me, PEKA69. Now, I was talking about the little short that I seen with Trick Daddy, you know, and Miss Kemp if you're nasty. You know, the way she promotes things is unusual, but it's it's for a target audience, and so the job gets done, you know. But they are cloud chasers, you know. It's a dual meaning to chasing cloud. You know, if you got a business, whether or not if it's lucrative or not, up and coming, you know someone is very popular on multiple streaming apps. then it's a smart thing. You know, you want to present your skills, you want to showcase something. It's a smart thing to do with an individual that has a presence, you know, that has an audience. So it's just a new it's just a new way of putting yourself out there. Now, in some places, if okay, for example, if Miss Kemp, if you're nasty, right, was multidimensional, because some believe that she is. If she was multidimensional, if she were to go on a different app and try to launch it, you know, after she ascended, because she did ascend, it would be different. The traffic would be slower. She might not get that many views. And then, if it's on a different device, because, some people, if it's, let me just get this out. If it's on a different device, you'll be able to notice it. Now, the ones that went through the ascension where you see no connection at the bottom of your cell phone, that's something different. Okay, not everybody went through that. So some people views are genuine and some people are not. When I said I'm in a place where if you purchase views, right, I can see your actual view count, because these are the ones that are multidimensional. Say you open you upload a video, right? And you upload a video, you let it sit there for a couple of days. Then you start moving in dimensions, verses. Okay? You still in the same home, you ain't went nowhere, because some of y'all feel like y'all gotta go somewhere. You still in the same home, you ain't went nowhere. You say, let me get up on the gram and put some sugar on it. So you go to the gram, you say, yada yada whoop whoop whoop, I'm putting sugar on my channel. Okay, now I got sugar on my channel. And then Ether's there. Ding! Ether sugar, bop, bop. Oh, you got 369 views. Just yesterday, it was 3,493 views. Type ish. Because it wasn't put in every place you were at. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Big G decided that's where he wants you to be, he said go ahead and put the sugar on there. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where people go when they put sugar on their channel. That's how the Big G is. Y'all got to understand. That's what I said. I could do it if I were to say, if I went and I said let me put sugar on the channel, you know what I'm saying, sugar it up, make y'all think I'm getting 30,000 views. Why not? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about content creation. What I notice is the ones that do get a lot of views are the ones that get a lot of donations. The ones that act like they get a lot of views are the ones that get a medium donation count. Y'all simply saying, because that's how people are. That's how people are. If I said, I'm saying, look, I ain't got no money right now. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm paying bills. I'm in the middle of a transition. Yada, 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 yada. Y'all see my views. Some people believe I'm not getting no views. Some people believe I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? They ain't seen none of my content. Others, when they try to open up my content, they get that little spinning thing in the middle. And then somewhere else, someone is saying, I don't know what Ether you're talking about, because every time we go in the chat, it's like 1,000 people in there. I'm not there. Okay? And so when I'm not there, that means I'm not getting that money. So y'all got to understand that's how it is for me, because I am multiverse. If you went through an ascension for your kind, okay, where it hinders your money. It would start in your practice. Mine is media. So that's where it started. And it was being done because of the the role I played. You know, when I said on a live before that I created the pathway, you know what I'm saying? I was the paradigm shift leader for this particular duration, which this duration talked about almost 4 years. And at the same time, I was going through my own ascension, my own awakening. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a whole bunch of stuff in one for me. You know, I just got thrown out there. You know how, back in the day, right? I had an uncle that the way he taught his nieces how to swim was to throw them in the pool. I remember he threw me in Blue Lake one time and I almost drowned. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when it's just throw you out there. That's what black people do. You know, and he's in there talking about stop, just flow, just stay still. You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't know how to. When you don't know how to swim, you know what I'm saying? You know, how you gonna be calm in a body of water and your head sinking? You know what I'm saying? Your head sinking up under, you want me to be calm. No, come get me. You know what I'm saying? I'm dying. You know what I'm saying? That's how they did me. You know? But the big G do it too. You know, he like, just put you out there, you know, sink or swim, what you gonna do? Barbecue or mildew, type is. Y'all, what it is, a lot of people want to, after they get over the realization that there's a possibility that what I'm saying is true, right? They know I'm sitting in my car. They know I don't have no high-tech equipment attached to no lighter. You know what I'm saying? No lighter plug in my car. I'm holding my iPhone, just like they do. There's no app that I know of. You know what I'm saying? They probably got that in Asia, but not here. Which brings me to something else. I know I jumped on top of the topic. I seen like a little thing, and I said I would get that. It's like a little device that you put on your wall. It's for boxing. It's like a boxing game. That's the only thing that I would see spending some money on when it comes down to like entertainment and games. It's like it's kind of like the little thing you step on, like you go the thing light up, and then you step on it. It's like virtual boxing, or not virtual, but like y'all know what I'm talking about. The reason why I put it out there is because they don't want me to say something because of you. Every time you come in the chat where you're at, because you're not where I'm at, every time you come in the chat, you start with this weird stuff. You either saying random words. It's been people. It's been people that have heard you because they wanted to hear. As a matter of fact, anybody that feel like what I'm saying is not true, just say God, because you don't want to say Big G. Just say God. I want to hear the ruckus that Ether is talking about. And when it starts, don't say I did nothing to you. Now, some of y'all said it and he turned it on and then he turned it off. So you knew. Others of y'all, let me tell you, it was some of y'all sat and y'all listened for years. You didn't say nothing. You know the signs of when it start and when it stop. I told y'all before there was a group that said after they sat and listened to their baby mama and baby daddy for months, they decide they don't want to do that no more. Yeah, they want to listen to somebody else's baby daddy and baby mama. You know what I'm saying? And then, they have a light bulb moment. Oh, if I could do this with my child's parent, I could do this with anybody. That was the progression of the last 4 years. So the pathway to ascension is the same pathway to dissension. So if I moved you through because the big G say you need a chance, you in distortion, you don't need to be here. You got this, that, and the third going on with your wellness. Let's move you out because none of them gonna tell y'all that they encounter Kairos, because to be in a position where you have no connection at the bottom of your device means you didn't encounter Kairos. That is the one that comes and takes stuff off of you. When they decided that they couldn't sleep with Kairos, when he decided that he was not going to sleep with them because they feel like because he's a man angel that he'll lay down with them spiritually, and you know how many done did that. These are the ones that wanted to be with the men. They didn't care if they were already spoken for. They didn't care. They wanted protection. The ones that sit up here talking about he a demon, he a this and he is that, they were sitting there talking about, I don't care. I need a demon. I need demon eggplant. All of that type of stuff. So y'all sitting up here saying Baphomet is this, Baphomet is that, and you know what I'm saying? But just last week you was, I'm Baphomet, I'm Satan, I'm Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? Why you doing the do. That's what got y'all place right there. Y'all want to be disrespectful to the greats, not the ones in my chat. I'm talking about these Asafinos back here. They want to say that they are, I'm Baphomet. When he doing what he do, you know what I'm saying? And then they'll say stuff like, "Oh, I'm bound to him. I'm bound to, like with me. He's sitting up there, with some Asafina, some Tatiana, you know what I'm saying? Talking about that's ether. You know what I'm saying? She, and then the aftermath is I'm bound to the real ether because I've been calling her ether the whole time I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Like that stuff will piss you off. Y'all know, the dudes know, especially the dudes from the hood, y'all know because y'all done did something like that. Where you done been with somebody and you may do it to other celebrities. But the point is, y'all know that it's fathomable. You know that dudes will do that type of stuff and it's disrespectful. You can't be sitting up there with the same gender talking about you somebody, woo, 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 woo. They take that as disrespect. That's why they there. Y'all don't know what these ones is capable of doing. Y'all, you know what? Let me tell you something. If the world didn't have archangels, we would be done. We will be done. There is a place where he put all of the Asaphios. Y'all be sitting there talking about y'all salves, y'all members and all of this and everything else. And they say, all right, as soon as you agree that is what you are, you get placed there. And then those be the ones saying, I grew up hard, I always got a duck, whoop after me, whoop whoop is after me, whoop whoop, I got, you know what I'm saying? And then they have to leave town. If they stay out of the place where it's all the ruckus, all the members and everything, they may have a chance. That's what y'all feel going to another verse is, and you are absolutely right. But this is different because you could be in a gated community one day and then an hour later, you look outside and it be nothing but black people. And you'll be like, why? You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Like, I had to have 1,100 credit score to move in here. Now y'all doing rent specials? My credit had to be I had to have 3,000 points. What happened? Wait, they don't I know they credit is not 3,000 points. Why? Why you? They look like my cousin and them. That's how the big G do you. Y'all think I'm playing? How many of y'all? How many of y'all said I'm moving on now? I finally got a piece of the pie, right? You like you there about 3 months, every bit of 3 months, 90 days. You go outside and you see Shaniqua's blonde braid on the ground. Wait, what? What is going on here? What? Y'all do that here? That's got to be a visitor. I done spent sassafras and septa, and you mean to tell me they allocate units to these people? Type ish. Play with them. You see, I'm moving on now on the east side. You, then you find out fat meat is greasy. You sitting there, you like, oh, it's quiet. It's quiet. Then all of a sudden, next door you hear, boom, boom, boom. Why that garage keep opening? That garage open like 30 times a day. Because that is a Donkia residence. Y'all listen. Y'all think the underworld don't use cuss words? They use cuss words. You just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll call you something foul. You know, they'll call you something foul, and then like these is a group of them, right? When I say they're dialects, because it's a mixture. It's a mixture. When I say it's kind of like, you know, I speak Swahili, and then I'm gonna go speak Sufi. You know, type. It could be along on the same spectrum, but the meanings are similar, but the pronunciation is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like that. So if I say Osikina, you know what I'm saying? There's a group of them that say I'm Osikina. You know what I'm saying? And everybody laugh. You don't know because it sounds so smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying, say I say that's Tatiana. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? You know the connotation surrounding Tatiana. You know what I'm saying? You know what it means. You know what I'm saying? Or what it could mean. You know, someone from somewhere else is not gonna if they're not into hip hop, they don't follow the culture. They're not gonna know what Tatiana is. It's a whole different language. You know what I'm saying? It's Ebonics. That's what it is. So what y'all got to realize is hip hop did create Ebonics. Hip hop culture created Ebonics. They're not gonna argue that and try to say that hip hop did not create it. It did get created by the culture. But the stuff that they're saying is their dialect. This is how all of them talked once upon a time. So they'll sit there and call you something really totally disrespectful, you know. And if you agree, like, you know what I'm saying, like this oficina, you know, he say he's a asekina, you know what I'm saying, because to him it sounds important. I did it. Let me tell you something. If you can make Satan laugh, you know what I'm saying? I make Satan laugh all the time. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know that the big G will turn it on. He he turned it on, and I said about 10 cuss words in his dialect. And he said, Ether, don't be teaching the cherubs that. You know? Because to them, cherubs are innocent. They laugh. What you gonna do? You know, some of y'all know, especially when you were younger and you had a child. When you were younger and you had a child, and you heard your child use a cuss word, you know, when they're around toddler age, it shock you. You know what I'm saying? You think it's funny because it's such a little person saying a cuss word. You know what I'm saying? That's how they treat cherubs. The females, the males don't like it. You know, the men, they don't like that. They don't want to be, the men cherubs don't like to be treated like like they can't hold their weight. You know, but that's just how it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get off of here, y'all. Oh, before I leave, right? We had about an hour. You know, some of this might upload, some of it might not. When I seen Krishan Rock exercising, see, I don't know when I have my faves, regardless to how the public feels about them, I might not favorite them for the same reason as you. When I heard Krishan Rock's song, the one that she was singing at that event, it's a part of it that I heard that I liked. I like her music, but you know, y'all may like her music too. But I don't. I'm not. She's not one of my faves because of her music. You know, the same with Blueface. When I say, the reason why I'm hesitant to say it is because when I say that I kind of like, you know, I favorite certain individuals, they go all bad on me. But I'm getting used to it. You know, it's their life. You got to live and you got to learn. But it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, you really don't know. You really don't know. You could, you know, you could just encounter someone. Hold on. You could just encounter someone, you know, when they're only upset. And because you're encountering them when they're only upset, you see a certain side of them. So, you know, for instance, with Krishan, right? She, you know, to them, in my opinion, right? Because they're young coming up, you know, her and her child's father, they're young coming up. The black box is a staple for them. I didn't, you know, it's been the black box has been in my life a good amount of 30 years, 20 something like that, you know. But for them, you know, this there, you know, I'm the rotary phone era. You know what I'm saying? Uh, when I was coming up their age, they was putting car phones. Y'all remember car phones? They had car phones. You know, so it's like I got a little bit of taste of it, but I really didn't because I was working. You know, 20s, 30s, I was working. You know, so social media wasn't. I didn't get on social media until I was like 32 or something, 32, 33. So listen, y'all. For them, they probably been on there since they was teenagers or adolescents or whatever. But the thing is, it's a staple for them. They already had a following before they became famous, like music wise. In my opinion, that's what I believe. If it's not, then so be it. I feel that way because I have grown adult children that's their age. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I'm just giving my hypothesis on what I believe happened with them. So it's like I got my phase, and when I say that they're my phase, they let me down. You know, and it's not like, oh, I didn't took too many back. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't did this. I done made a fool out of myself. It's not like that. It's always something spiritually. Always. Always, it's always, every time, it's always something spiritual. And it to me, it's like, what I feel like a lot of times is people value my opinion when it's in alignment with what they've been indoctrinized in. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they only value my opinion when it goes along with someone else's doctrine. When I came and I said Coupe de Ville, Devil. He's a very high-ranking archangel. That one is hard for a lot of people to conceptualize. They because they're so used to blaming him for everything. And when I said they are considered black, it makes sense, right? Y'all always get blamed for everything. So why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like the where I get no pushback is the ones that are in between. Like they heard of Cote d'Ivoire, you know what I'm saying? They're not finna play with him like that, you know what I'm saying? You know, and they didn't been on the other side of the game. You know what I'm saying? They didn't walk, but if they not all up in the church house every Sunday and acting like they ain't never did nothing wrong. I don't get no pushback from that group. It's the ones that want to act like they ain't never did nothing wrong, and the ones that say they are clergy members. That's where that that's where the thing about it is, if I were to go into the knowledge, the stuff that I read, I would probably get a different, like they would probably think different about me because I'm book smart. You know, when I said I grew up Pentecostal, that told them right there that at some point I was in the church house. You know, my family done founded churches, done worked in churches. My father was a deacon before he passed away. So it's not my biological father. I sung in the choir. So it's not like, when I say stuff like that, then, it kind of, some clergy members will say, okay, maybe she needs prayer. And then I say, your prayers ain't going past the ceiling. Because they're not. It's not me that needs prayer because I don't want to believe in your belief. Is me coming forth. When I said Jesus was not his only begotten son, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Why y'all want to give him that title when he gone? Why y'all didn't give him that title when he was walking? Because from his story, y'all cast the stones and impaled him. But now all of a sudden everybody's in agreement that he was his only begotten son. The son that sound open. When he is not even the heir of calling the big G Father. That is Lucifer's error. Our Father in heaven. That's what they address the big G as. Just like I said, I'm the leader of this paradigm shift. For you to cross that threshold, you have to say the God. Theeegod, and y'all know it. It was so many, let me tell you, it was some pantheons that didn't know if they should say it. Because they didn't know if they wanted to cross the threshold. They didn't know if they want to be in the future or not. The ones that y'all didn't encounter that was 3 years ago, just about. I'm talking about real, actual pantheons. When you have, for me, when you have a spiritual spouse that travels during a paradigm shift, a major one like that, I was encountering all types of beings spiritually, and so was he. Y'all ever travel so much that you think you went into the land of ETs, aliens? Why y'all believe that they don't have bodies? Like, y'all believe they walking around with one eyeball? You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all just say, some of y'all naive. Can I just say that? Like, no disrespect. Y'all know that the word exists, so that means it's real, even if it's not real to you. When I start talking about it and speaking about it like I'm having a conversation with my neighbor, that makes some of y'all feel uncomfortable. Y'all want me to get up there and as help us see, also that's not me. Like, you know, I said, when I encounter the great Bobby Hemmett, the black one, you know what I'm saying? I seen him, with his BP, dashikis on, you know what I'm saying? I seen him in different modes. When he was vegan, you know, I seen him with BP, you know what I'm saying? And then when he got when he got that little pop belly though, that's when I really liked it. I was like, that, I really rock with him now, you know what I'm saying? We got that little pop belly. That's the version right there. But the ones that would go and see him knew that they were in the presence of greatness. They knew that. This is why they spent their money to go see him. And the fact that you could take your children. He said, you don't need no money. You don't need no babysitter to come see him. He talked about it in some of his movements, his videos. Not having no money. Not having enough money. This is how it is. Even if when you do spiritual work, you spend a lot of money on tools in the beginning. You're not thinking about a designer bag, not if you're truly spiritual. You're not really thinking about. I would say that the great Bobby Hemmett, the black one, belongs in the spiritual community, not in the BP community. I would consider his content spiritual. So it's like, let me tell y'all something. When I was telling people 15 years ago to watch the great Bobby Hemmett, the black one, they were saying to me, you like him? These are other black people. You like him? Like, he crazy. You know what I'm saying? That was the belief, And I sat there 4-hour lectures. I was happy. Remember, this me, the one that was going to the college and having to sit in the theater class and watch old cowboy flicks for 3 hours and falling asleep. So 4-hour videos, lectures wasn't nothing for me. I enjoyed it. I was driving the school bus then. I'd be on break. I would sit and just listen. Yes, you can. Let me tell y'all something about school bus driving. It's a down period. Okay. Yes, you can sit and watch a lecture for 3 to 4 hours if you have a down period. If you go and you pick up some children in the morning, you drop them to school, right? When it's time for you to pick them up, there's an in-between hour. There's in-between hours. Think about how long your children are at school. Now, the ones that are experienced, the ones that have seniority in between, they do field trips. So they're not just sitting in that in-between. I know because I used to be one. Y'all got to stop thinking like, like I ain't never had no job. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never had no career. I ain't educated. I had regular jobs. I used to drive a school bus. That's what I'm telling you. You talking about Chabot. I done been there. The Academy of Science, I done been all there because I was a school bus driver. We would take them, we'd take them all the way. Yes, that is how I know about Humboldt County because I done drove out there too. See, y'all got to understand that I ain't got to lie about nothing. You don't know who you encounter. You don't know who your children encounter. Listen, y'all. The point is, anyone that has ever been important throughout any type of story was always tight with their finances. Something was always happening with their finances because that's how the big G worked. You at some point you just sit back and you just be like, man, you know, don't be in the face like they don't want me to say like I'm in right now. So I'm not gonna say like I'm in right now. They gonna say 3 phases ago. Listen, but you just be like, I'm about to get me a job. Let me tell y'all something. I went to go apply for a job. I was not no cap. I said I'm finna to go apply for Mickey D's. Soon as I see, I I happened to be walking and I seen that the $20 an hour. What? I thought about going back to driving too. Cause I seen the school bus earlier. I thought about that too. My because of my child, the one on the spectrum, I don't see that as a possibility. Even though they sold me a good one, they said you'll always have a career. You get this license. Yep, you gonna always be working. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a driving job. Not me being who I am, y'all. I can't do it. I didn't ascend it too high to drive. I'm encountering too many different types of people, beings, energies. I mess around and end up someplace. Let me tell you, looking back now, some of these places that I was doing tours and going away because the company that I work for, they'll send you away for a week or two. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't going to these places. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on. I get up in there and start levitating and stuff. I'm not gonna, heck no. Mess around, come back. I'm somewhere in a different galaxy. You know what I'm saying? No. Driving is not for me. My grandmother, right? When I'm not gonna say quit. I'm not gonna say quit. I didn't get fired, but when I left that career, my grandmother was so happy. I got the type of grandmother that she's always overly cautious. She's from the South, Jackson. So it's like she's always, she want me to make money, but she don't want me doing certain things. It's like, I want you to make some money, You got to live. You got to support yourself. But I don't want you to drive a school bus. It's too big. You know what I'm saying? The bus is too big. It's too many doohickeys on there. You know, you got air brakes. That's another variable. You know what I'm saying? That when y'all hear that, that means the air is coming out them brakes. I told y'all about that time I got stuck. Listen, I was on an extender bus up a hill. I was on an extender bus. Some of y'all from the city, y'all know what an extender bus. I was up a hill, and it was an unalive end at the. You got to use that. That's why I tell y'all got to use the trucker's GPS. Cause I don't want you to end up like me. Listen, I was up a hill. All the neighbors was in the window. And I get to the top of the hill. I said, darn, this is an unalive end. So I said, okay, God. So it's a rear view mirror, but it don't work like that. You looking now, all you gonna see is bus. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna see nothing but the bus behind you, right? So you gotta use your side view mirrors. All of a sudden, right? I gotta back the bus up. That's the extender. I gotta back the bus up, and I gotta make a right while backing up. So now I gotta back up down the hill and turn the bus right so I can go back down the hill. I get to the corner, make a right. I didn't hit nothing. This guy's my witness. I did not hit nothing. I get to the corner. All of a sudden I hear beep 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 beep. I said, oh, I'm there. Beep 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 means you running out of air in your brakes. Okay, so I made it out of there, but I said I ain't gonna ever do this route again. This is what, you know, when you have a job like that, you know, people with seniority, those are the ones they don't want, even though they could drive them expert. They experts. They don't want, because the possibilities. So, you know, you the newcomer, you gonna get all of those. This is why they say it's always work for those that drive, because you always gonna get the route nobody wants. That is it.